As well as noting the cost of rice was a huge issue for voting. According to a third in a poll, they said it was their top concern. Now, the price has doubled over the year. Some of that has to do with the 2023 heat wave. That created a shortage, and the government is encouraging farmers to grow more rice. However, what the government is refusing to do is lowering its trade barriers. Around 100,000 tonnes of rice for human consumption is let in duty-free each year. 100,000 tonnes, 1% of demand. Anything more than the 100,000 is a tariff of $2.36 per kilo. Essentially, it prices it out of the market. Peter Bachmann is the chief executive of the USA Rice Federation. I think I've got, I mean, we could probably quibble with the numbers here and there, but the gist of it is that besides your 100,000, the Japanese do not want more imported rice. They want to protect the home market.
That's correct. The Japanese are very sensitive about rice. It's a culturally important product to them. It's a staple food. And so they first and foremost want to eat Japanese rice. However, the Japanese have propped up their domestic rice prices for a long time to support the rice farming industry in Japan. And as a result, consumers have had to pay high prices. And so when there's a shortfall of rice, like we've seen over the last year in Japan, those prices have skyrocketed even more. And we can liken that to buying toilet paper in the United States or other products eggs, where we saw a shortage of in the US earlier this year. And so that's what they're going through in Japan right now.
Right, but are your members able to sell more rice there now because supply and demand has pushed the price to profitable levels? Or is the tariff on those profitable levels still creating a very much a negative impact?
Exactly. So there is a very high tariff on rice imports into Japan. As you mentioned, it's 341 yen per kilo of rice that comes in, and that equates to roughly 2,000 to 3,000 US dollars per metric ton of rice that goes there. The rice cost is roughly $800 per ton, and they're paying $2,000 to $3,000 in tax on top of that just to get it in the door. And so that's how much demand there is in Japan for our rice and for additional rice into the market.
So obviously you support, I would imagine, the administration's policy in terms of getting more rice in and doing whatever's necessary to do so.
Yes, USA Rice and the U.S. rice industry, we grow rice in about 6 states in the Mid-South and the Gulf, but also in the Sacramento Valley of California. All the rice going to Japan is coming from the Sacramento Valley. We grow just a fraction of what Japan grows in that Sacramento Valley. And so we have plenty of excess rice in the Sacramento Valley that we can supply there. A little bit goes a long way for us, and we're very supportive of the Trump administration advocating for additional rice access into Japan.
You see, of course, I fully understand your position in terms of rice, but the arguments you're using about rice can be turned against the United States in terms of steel. A domestic industry that's been propped up, that has kept prices higher, that has got tariffs on importing steel. I mean, I guess this is why you don't do tariffs on anything, because one man's rice is another man's steel, and eventually you get clobbered one way or the other.
Yeah, that could be the case. I think the administration uses national security and national defense as the position to include tariffs on steel and aluminum. You know, I think we could also go the same way and say that food security is national security. And so for us, you know, we would love to see tariffs on rice coming into the United States for the same reason. The steel and aluminum folks want to see that. However, you know, we know it's a delicate balance, and it's gonna mean higher costs for somebody along the line.
That, sir, I think everybody, it's a question of where that actually ends up. I'm grateful to you, thank you, because our discussion tonight really does show the complexity of the issues, particularly for your members trying to sell into Japan, and rice is an important product. Thank you, sir, for joining us tonight on Quest Means Business. I'm grateful. Thank you. Now.